Hey guys, what's up? It's Erin here from the Petite Planner, and today I have some fun and fancy headers for you, but don't worry, these are not too hard. A couple of them are a little bit time consuming and require a few supplies to do, but they're really fun and they don't require a ton of skill or extensive knowledge in lettering. So this first one is a circus themed heading. So I started with a red Crayola marker and then I just did some bold print font for this, and all of these I just wrote the word header. I figured that it was easy to just get across the message, and it has enough like lines and stuff, but it's also easy to do some of the shadows and stuff like that. And then I'm going in with this very light blue Crayola super tip to give this like a drop shadow also. So I figured that the red and blue really create this very nice circusy style lettering with the colors, and I really ended up liking it. And then the last thing that I'm going to be doing here is adding in a white line through the center of each letter. So I'm creating a second letter with just a thin white line in the center of the red, and I'm using the Uniball Signo white gel pen for this. Mine's kind of running out. I actually need to order a few more. You'll see here that I struggle with a few of these lines, but most of the time this pen is amazing for creating smooth, bright white lines, and you usually only have to do it once. If you really want your white to pop, you can go over it 2 times after it's dried the first time to really make that white in the center pop. For the second one, this is a calligraphy header, but if you just know how to write in cursive and just want to use a regular marker, that's fine too. I am using Tombow markers for this. I will also be using a black fine tip pen and also the Tombow Foodie pen. So what I did is I took a super pale pink and wrote out the word header, and now I'm going back and I'm going over the bottom half of my words with this slightly darker color because I want to create that ombre effect. So these are supposed to be very bold headers. This isn't probably something that you would do for a weekly header because it's going to take a lot of time to do these. All of these are sped up by 2 times. So it does take a while to create this effect. So you might want to do this as like a cover page or as your calendar or habit tracker or maybe some of your collection pages, but I'm not sure that you'd want to try it with a weekly header. Also, using the Tombows, it does create this much larger header, so it doesn't really work in a weekly spread. So I went back in with my pale pink and I just kind of blended out those lines where the darker pink met the lighter pink. And now I am taking my Faber-Castell Artist Pitt pen in medium, and you can go with whatever size you feel comfortable with, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to outline this entire text. So the final step here, and to really make those more pale colors, especially that pale pink and even the lighter pink, just pop a little bit more, I'm going to add this drop shadow. And if you've never done drop shadows before, the way I like to explain them to people is just to think of a light source. So in mine, it would be in the upper left-hand corner, and think of these being like 3D objects. Like, where would it cast that shadow? Where would you see the shadow? It would be on the opposite side of where the light is. So if the light's on the left, then you're going to have on the right will be where your drop shadow is. And I go over all of this. Granted, I don't do lettering in my course, but I go over all of the drop shadows and tons of really fun techniques to enhance your doodles in my new doodle course. Yes, I'm self-promoting, so please check it out if you have a chance. I will leave the link and a discount code down below if you want to learn how to doodle and you're a beginner and you don't really know where to start. So for this next one, what I am doing is I'm going to create a big black box on the bottom, and my pen ran out of ink right here, so I had to switch out to a different one. But I'm just going to create this black box and completely fill it in black, and I'm using the Tombow Foodie pen for this. For this, I wanted to use the soft tip because it would have been quicker to fill it in, but I don't have one that is working very well, so I ended up using the hard tip, which is the blue casing Tombow. So I just filled in this black box, and now what we're going to do is we're going to create this contrast header. So on the top, I'm going to write the word header, but I'm only doing the top half of the letters, and I'm just doing these in a basic capital print font. So you can see that that header is coming along, but all you're seeing is the top half of the letters. And then to finish it off, we'll use our white Signo pen to finish off the bottom half of those letters. So for the H, I did the 2 stems, and then I also did a very thin part of the crossbar on there as well. This next one is one you've probably seen quite often on Instagram, but I get asked a lot how to actually do this header, so I wanted to show you in video form and talk you through it. So I decided to go with this tall and narrow print font. A lot of these, as you can see, are print fonts, and none of them have serifs because I wanted to keep it pretty simple. So I decided to just do this tall, narrow print font, and so I'm writing the word header. Now, as long as your words are the exact same, so say you're writing January in print and then January in cursive, it's pretty easy. What you're going to do is you're going to create all of your letters right on top of the other letter. So the H will be over the H, the A will be over the A, and so on and so forth throughout the letter. And then the last thing that I decided to do with mine, just to make that script font pop a little bit more, was create some faux calligraphy by adding a second line on the downstrokes of my letters. The next one is fairly simple and definitely could be used as a weekly header or even a daily header. So I'm just going to create a large serif letter H. So I'm adding the little serifs on the bottom and top, those little like whoop things on letters, and then I'm filling this all in. And then after that, all I'm going to do is I'm going to use my ruler to draw a perfectly straight horizontal line kind of coming out of the right side of the H. And then I'm just going to use basic cursive with this black Faber-Castell to write the remaining part of the word. So E-A-D-E-R. So it says header, but only the first letter is this big serif bold letter. One of the last ones is a rainbow font, so I love seeing these. I think they're really fun and they're pretty easy. It's just a matter of really taking your time. So I grabbed red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and a purple. I didn't separate the purples to create this. And then what I'm doing is I'm drawing just about half of each letter with one color before moving to the next, keeping in the pattern of a rainbow. So that red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So for the H, I did half of the H, including half of the crossbar in red, and then the other half the crossbar with the other up and down stroke in orange. And then I just continued to move on with this. Now with my E, I definitely should have extended my yellow on that first one a little bit farther out on those crossbars. The last header in this video is probably one of my favorites, and it's awesome if you have wanted to try a vertical header but don't really know how to do it. So first I decided how long my word was, so the word header is 6 letters, and then I drew squares, and some of them I kind of angled differently so it's more like a diamond shape, and we're going to turn these into Scrabble letters. So what I did is I went on Google and got a picture of the Scrabble letters with the little numbers that represent your point system. And then I put the point system in the corner before adding my letters in, just so I knew what I was doing, or you could add your letters first. But I created these little strings with little holes to kind of tie them all together, like they're all strung tiles. And then I also created a drop shadow on my letters just to give them a little bit of that 3D effect. And then I'll be using this very light tan colored Tombow. I will link the colors of the Tombows that I use down below, or at least leave a link to the supplies and then the colors of the Tombows down below. But I use this to kind of give it that wood color. And then I use my fine point Faber-Castell to add the number. And then I use the 1.5 tip to actually write the word header in each of these. So H in the top block, E in the second down block, and so on until I completed it. So that wraps up this header video. I hope that you enjoyed these and you're having fun with them. If you'd like to share them with me on Instagram, I would love to see them. Definitely tag me at The Petite Planner. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, please subscribe so you can see more in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.